Good morning and welcome to another FTx webinar. This is a weekly event we do every Friday at 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, where we go over various topics of the FTx software. You can see these events if you go to our website, goftx.com, choose the FTx Lifeline tab at the top of the screen, scroll down about halfway down the page and look for that webinar button, choose that. And this is the webinar page. You can sign up for the newsletter to get notified of upcoming webinars. And you can see all of the previous webinars we've done. You can view their recordings by choosing the View Recording button. And at the bottom, sign up for the upcoming ones, and that'll send you a reminder. This week, we're going to be looking at some of the FTx Lifeline tools that are available. That's remote access to your PCs, your support ticketing system, ticket specifications, PC specifications, handheld remote access. So let's begin. So first, we're going to look at the ticket portal. And there's a URL for that. If you go to the URL https://na.myconnectwise.net/FastTracksPOS. So I'll log out real fast and we can see that if I key in, there's that URL and it's going to carry me right to this page. At this point, we'll just have to log in. If you don't have a login, contact us and we can provide you a login. So we'll go ahead and log in here. And this is the ticketing portal. So anytime you have a ticket, if you prefer to reply or create tickets in the ticketing portal rather than utilizing email, you can totally do that. This home screen will give you a list of your open tickets that you have, and then give you some stats on tickets you have over the course of time. To create a new ticket, just simply choose that Create Ticket option at the top of the screen. And then at this point, you could ignore the select service needed. You can just put in like the title, what the purpose of this ticket is, give your description. If you have an attachment, that's fantastic. Attach the attachment. Enter in your due date, and then here's your contact information below that. And if you need to update that, you can do that accordingly. As soon as you choose Submit, it's going to add that to our ticketing system, and then a Lifeline analyst will be able to respond and see those details. Now, as for your open tickets that have already been created and that are not new, you can view all of those by either looking at the open tickets here or choosing this ticket tab at the top of the screen. This lets you search. You have an option of searching by the ticket number or by the summary, or you can just simply choose the ticket you like to see here. Like say we want to view this testing ticket here. We can click on that and that'll carry us and let us see all the details of this. If there's a problem, there'd be a problem in that body, and then we can add to that discussion, update accordingly. So if someone from the Lifeline analyst responds asking some questions or further details, you can reply in the body of this ticket here. This also lets you see your closed tickets as well. By default, it's only showing your enabled tickets. You can choose the closed tickets and filter that out and see just the tickets that have been closed. That way, if you ever want to review tickets that have been done in the past, or if you're having a problem that you've known that's been resolved in the past, that someone may have showed you or told you how to do that procedure, you can review those notes and see that. That's the ticketing portal. It's very simple, very intuitive, very streamlined. The next thing we're going to look at is the remote access, and that's the ConnectWise Control and ConnectWise Automate. And to get to that, this domain actually changed a couple months ago. It's the lifeline.goftx.com/automate. Before, you didn't have to have the automate. Now you have to have that. If you go to that URL without the automate, then you won't be able to log in and use the remote access tools. So that key is having that /automate. Once you have come to this page, we'll log out just so you're going to have this login screen. If you don't have a username, contact us and we can provide you one of those. So I'm going to log in. And this is the basically the central hub for this. You're going to see a list of all of your computers, and it's done by computer name. You can, of course, sort by these columns here. Now, the computer name, this can be changed. If you want to change your naming scheme to where it's something that makes more sense, because like Windows, for instance, by default uses these desktop dash and then a randomly generated alphanumeric number, you can change that by actually physically on the machine, right-clicking the Start menu, going to System, and there's a Rename this PC option. If you change your PC name here, then after 24 hours, it's going to update in this list here, and it'll be whatever name you have in that place. Now, as a note, if you're doing this in a multi-register environment, please contact us first, because there's a couple steps that have to be done on the secondary machines to make sure that it's still pointing to register 1. But I'd recommend, if you don't know what machine names are which, to rename those to make it more easily accessible. So from this screen, let's say we want to view this computer here. I can actually control that machine remotely directly from choosing this control button, or I can double click on it, and that's going to bring up more details. This is a quick way to see like what specifications is on that machine, your antivirus, how up to date is your antivirus definitions, what's the manufacturer, the MAC address, the local IP address, and the public IP address. Remember, if you're in a corporate environment and you're sending to a different location from your corporate server, you're sending to this public IP address. So that's a quick way to always see what your store's IP addresses actually are. When you're sending to that public IP address, of course, you have to have port forwarding enabled to let the router know which computer is supposed to receive that information. And that port forwarding would always be to register 1's local IP address. So you see both of that information on this one screen. It's a quick way to always know what your IP addresses actually are. But you can see like your system information and your hardware, like your specifications, what software is installed and what's recently been installed, and your hard drive usage. To further dive deeper into, like, say, your software or your hardware, you just simply double click on that little block of info, and it's going to tell you basically in more detail what that specification is of whatever that block you're clicking in. So for like CPU here, I can see more of the CPU information. I can see more of the RAM. I can see what printers are assigned. It's pretty detailed in what all you can see on these screens. If I'm ready to go back, I just simply choose the back button. Like for software, you can double click that and you can see what all is installed. If you need to uninstall something remotely, you can do that. Just simply choose what you want to install and then choose the uninstall button, and that would queue that up to where it's going to uninstall in the background. So we're going to go back now. That's the base coverage of the ConnectWise control. Now to remotely access the machine from this screen, just simply choose that control button up here. That'll open up a little window. Just choose open, and then you have remote access of that machine. So this is effectively like a remote desktop. So whatever the end user at the computer is doing, you're going to see, and whatever you do, they're going to see. You're effectively sharing that same computer screen. Now, at this point, it's just like like you're physically at the computer. You can do whatever you need to do. There's some toolbars at the top, though, that give you some pretty nifty tools. For example, if you're remoting into a machine that has multiple monitors, such as a point of sale system that has a customer-facing display, you may have a wider version of this showing both screens. Let's say you only want to see one of those screens. If you hover over this view button, it lets you choose your monitors. So you can view all monitors, or you can pick and choose monitors below that to view just the individual monitor. You can select the color quality. If you're on a lower speed internet connection, you can change it to black and white. That makes it a bit faster for you. You can zoom in and out. Then you have the gearhead option, which is tools. The most used control via keyboard is the Control-Alt-Delete, so you can send a Control-Alt-Delete keyboard command. You can have it reboot. You can suspend the guest input. The guest input is going to be the user on the machine. You can block the monitor. You can share your screen, and then you can file transfer. File transfer is just simply clicking and dragging and dropping files on that machine. There's also a chat window. So if you need to chat with the person on the other end, you can chat. That's the basic usage of the Screen Connect client. It's fairly simple, it's super fast, and there's not much to it. It's very effective in remote access. The next tool we're going to look at is going to be what's called SOTI Mobi Control. And this is a tool that lets you remote access and view handheld information. Now, when I say handheld information, this is going to be the Windows handheld. So it's going to be the Unitex and the Honeywells that run the Windows mobile operating system. To get to that, there's a URL. It's soti.fasttrackspos.com/mobicontrol. You'll go to this URL here. You will log in. If you don't have a login, contact us and we can give you a login. And then we have this screen here. And this is going to be basically kind of like the ConnectWise control we were looking at, except for handhelds. So if I need to view a handheld, I can simply click on that. And then there is a remote access button here. Now to get to like the specifications and everything, we'd want to remote into this handheld. It's a little bit different than the ConnectWise automate and control. So we'll choose the remote button, and that's going to open a window to let us remotely access that handheld. And here we go. It is in now. And that is effectively the handheld screen. So whatever the end user is seeing and doing, you're going to see remotely here. To do a file transfer is very simple. In this Explore tool over here, you have the handheld name. You would just simply double click into that, and that's going to give you its file structure. And at this point, you can browse your computer, which is to the left of this. Say I want to move a document or something over. I can click on my documents folder. I can copy whatever I want to copy, and then I can paste into that handheld whatever folder I want, and then that's a quick way to do a file transfer. You can also do screen recording and screen capture. So I can do the screen recording there's a video record option here. I can record what's occurring on the handheld by choosing that, and it's going to save it to a file on my computer. And then I can also, if I go to File here, I can save the screen. I can save it to either the clipboard or the disk, which is saving it to the computer to a physical file. So that's a quick way to, if you're having an issue or something, or an error message pop up, it's a good way to capture that so you can have it for your records. Finally, we're going to look at not really a tool for remote access, but we're going to look at the documentation and videos that's available that's constantly being updated. If you go to our website, goftx.com, and choose that FTx Lifeline tab, when you scroll down, of course, there's that webinar option, but there's also the documentation and videos for the different softwares that we have. Let's say you want to view documentation for the point of sale system. You can click on that documentation button. That's then going to open up the documentation in a different tab. And at this point, you can click on a doc. It's going to open that doc up, and then it will expand the options below that doc header. So I can view the doc. I can view each page by clicking on each page. There's also an option that not many people know about, this little cloud icon right here. If you click on that, that actually opens the entire document up in a PDF that you can actually save to a file. This allows you to save that to a phone or an iPad or a computer, and even if you don't have internet access, you can still view that document. And it's basically the exact same thing, just in a PDF format. Next, we're going to look at the videos. In the videos, it's a lot like the webinars we do, but they're more straight to the point and more very, um, very like a very singular topic. It's very streamlined to a singular topic, whereas webinars are very expansive and cover everything that has to do with a certain topic. This is right to the point. So they're a lot shorter in length, but they're also very informative, and these are constantly being updated and added all the time. Just simply click on one of those, and it'll probably be anywhere from a 1 to 5 minute video on how to do exactly what this subject would be. All right, well, that's what I had for today. I hope everybody learned something on the remote access tools and ticketing system and resources that we offer. If you need a login, once again, contact us. You can reach us at 256-319-3470, option 1, or at web support at FTxPOS.com to request a login. If you have any feedback or suggestions for future webinars, let us know at info@goftx.com. And once again, you can see all of these if you go to our website, goftx.com, choose the FTx Lifeline tab at the top of the screen, go to that webinar button, choose it, and then this page will allow you to sign up for webinars, view previous webinars, and sign up for the newsletter. Thank you for your time, and we hope you have a great weekend and come back next week.